everyone. Welcome back to English Alongway, where you grow in life and grow in English. I'm Alina.
And I'm Marcus. And today we are going to say something that might make your English teacher nervous.
Just a little. Okay, close your eyes for a second and imagine this. You are in a conversation. In English, you know exactly what you want to say. The idea is clear in your head. The words are there. And then you stop.
That pause, that little voice. Wait, is this grammatically correct?
Yes, that voice. And while you're checking the grammar in your head, the moment is gone. The conversation moves on, and you stayed quiet.
I know that feeling. I know it very well.
Most English learners know it. And today we're asking one big question. Is grammar overrated for speaking English? Does it build your confidence, or does it build your fear?
I already have opinions.
I knew you would.
Strong ones.
Also expected. Let's go. Okay, here's my main idea. Grammar is real. Grammar is useful. But for speaking, we give it too much power. We treat it like the most important thing, and I don't believe it is.
Wait, are you saying grammar doesn't matter?
No, I'm saying we've made it into something bigger than it is. We've made it scary.
But, Alina, if your grammar is bad, people might not understand you. That's a real problem.
Might not understand, or they simply understand you perfectly and simply notice a small mistake.
Noticing the mistake is kind of the whole point, though. If I'm teaching you, I want to correct you.
Sure, but is the point of speaking to be corrected or to communicate?
To communicate, yes, but...
Then grammar is the tool, not the goal.
Okay, I see that. But I still think you are being too relaxed about bad grammar. Some mistakes really do change the meaning.
Some do, yes, and those mistakes matter. But most mistakes, they don't change the meaning at all. They just feel wrong to the listener for 1 second, and then the conversation continues.
1 second of discomfort.
1 second. And people choose silence over that 1 second of discomfort. That's the real problem.
Okay, I see that. I'm not fully convinced yet, but I see that.
I knew you'd say that.
Look, let me push back properly. I have met people whose grammar was so broken that talking to them was genuinely hard, not uncomfortable, actually difficult to understand.
Okay, that happens. But in your daily experience, how often?
Enough times.
Compare that to how many times someone spoke imperfect English and you understood them completely.
More times. Fine, more times. But context matters, Alina. A job interview is not a casual coffee chat. A presentation to 50 people is not a text message to a friend.
Agreed. In professional settings, grammar carries more weight. But we're talking about speaking in general, about people who are learning, about people who are afraid to open their mouths.
And I'm saying grammar gives them a structure. Without structure, you are just throwing words and hoping.
Or you're learning the way every human learned their first language. No textbook, no rules. Just listening, repeating, and trying.
We are not babies, Alina.
No, but we learn better when we feel safe. And grammar rules, the way they're taught, do not make people feel safe. They make people feel like one wrong move and they fail.
Okay, but that's the teaching style, not grammar itself. You can't blame grammar for a bad classroom.
That is a fair point, actually.
Thank you.
But the two are connected. For most people, grammar and fear arrived at the same time, in the same classroom with the same red pen.
The red pen. The red pen is practically a symbol of trauma at this point.
Exactly. And when you spend years being corrected in front of others, when every mistake is marked, graded, counted, what do you learn? You learn that mistakes are bad, that being wrong is failure.
Okay, that is real. I will not argue with that. I remember being corrected in class once in front of everyone, and I felt so small, so embarrassed. I didn't want to speak again for the rest of the lesson.
And after that lesson, did you want to speak more or less?
Less. Obviously less.
And that is my whole point. The fear of grammar mistakes kills more English than the mistakes themselves.
Come on, that's too dramatic.
Is it? How many people do you know who studied English grammar for years, workbooks, exercises, tests, and still cannot have a simple conversation?
A few, yes.
More than a few, honestly.
Okay, more than a few.
And how many people do you know who learned mostly by listening and speaking, making mistakes, getting corrected, and moving forward, and are now genuinely fluent?
Also, yes, also more than a few.
So what does that tell you?
It tells me that speaking practice matters. But, Alina, those fluent speakers, some of them are sloppy. They're confident, but imprecise. They say things that a native speaker would wince at.
Wince, okay. But did they communicate?
Yes.
Did the other person understand them?
Yes.
Did they build real relationships, real careers, real life in English?
Yes. Fine. Yes.
Then the wince doesn't matter that much.
It matters a little.
A little. I'll give you a little.
Thank you. I need something here.
Okay, so here's what I think the real question is. What costs you more? Being grammatically correct and staying silent, or being imperfect and actually speaking?
When you say it like that, speaking, obviously.
So why do so many learners choose silence?
Because they're afraid of judgment.
And where does that fear come from?
Grammar class?
I'm not blaming every teacher, but the system, the way grammar is often taught, creates a fear of being wrong. And that fear follows people out of the classroom into real life.
Okay, I hear you. I really do. But my question is, what is the answer? No grammar at all? Just speak and hope?
No, balance. Learn grammar, but treat it like a map, not a cage. Use it to guide you, not to stop you.
A map, not a cage. That's actually a good line.
I have good lines sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, I want to share something real. When I started actually speaking English, not just studying it, I was completely obsessed with one thing: present perfect versus simple past.
Oh, the classic fear.
Every single time I wanted to say something, I would stop and ask myself, is this finished? Does it still affect now? Should I say I went or I have been? And by the time I worked it out,
The conversation was already somewhere else.
completely gone. And I just sat there, quiet, nodding like I understood everything, looking very thoughtful, saying absolutely nothing.
Looking thoughtful but saying nothing is a very specific kind of lonely.
It really is. And one day I just made a decision. I am going to speak. I'm going to be wrong sometimes, and I'm going to survive it. And you know what happened?
Nothing terrible.
Nothing terrible. People just responded like a normal conversation. Nobody stopped me. Nobody corrected me in front of a crowd. We just talked.
That is literally all it is.
That is all it is. Okay, your turn. Tell me your story.
Mine is a little different. I was actually that student who loved grammar.
Wait, seriously?
I know. I was very happy with rules. The patterns felt safe and beautiful to me. I liked knowing the system.
That is so Alina of you.
Thank you, I think. But then I moved cities, and suddenly I had to speak English with real people every day. Not in a classroom, not in an exercise. Real, fast, unpredictable conversations. And all of my grammar knowledge just froze.
Froze?
I knew every rule, but when someone spoke fast, when they used an expression I didn't recognize, I panicked, and all those rules disappeared from my brain completely.
Because real conversation does not wait for you to check the grammar.
Real conversation is fast and messy and alive, and grammar, the way I had learned it, was none of those things. It was still and clean and written on paper, very different from actual human speech.
So what changed for you?
I started listening more than studying. I listened to conversations, podcasts, people in the street, and slowly, without consciously learning rules, the patterns started to come naturally.
So grammar came in through the back door.
Through the back door. I love that. Yes, exactly that.
You absorbed it without the fear attached to it.
That's it. No red pen, no test, just natural exposure. And it worked.
Okay, here's something I've been thinking about during this whole conversation. Maybe the real problem is not grammar at all. Maybe it's our relationship with mistakes.
Oh, go on.
Well, in some cultures, and you probably know this, making a mistake in front of other people is deeply shameful. It means you're not intelligent. It means you failed. You should have known better.
And in those cultures, speaking a foreign language is terrifying because every sentence is an opportunity to fail publicly.
Exactly. But in other places, mistakes are just steps. You try something, it doesn't work, you adjust, you move on. No one looks at you differently.
So it's not only about grammar, it's about how we see imperfection.
Right. And if you believe that a mistake is shameful, then yes, grammar becomes a cage. Every rule is a wall between you and embarrassment.
But if you believe that a mistake is simply information, that was wrong, I know now, let me try again, then grammar is a tool, helpful, not threatening.
A useful guide instead of a source of stress.
That's the real shift. Not more grammar, not less grammar, a different relationship with being wrong.
That's actually quite deep for a conversation that started with verb tenses.
Everything connects to everything, Marcus.
With you, it always does, every time. Before we close, we want to leave you with 3 questions. There are no right answers, just honest ones. Just sit with them.
First question, when you want to speak English and you hesitate, what stops you more, not knowing the word or not knowing the grammar?
Think about that honestly. Second question, can you remember a moment when you spoke English, maybe with a mistake, maybe imperfectly, and it worked? The other person understood you. The conversation happened. How did that feel?
Hold that feeling.
And third, this one is the honest one. Do you use grammar as a guide to help you speak or as a reason to stay quiet?
That last question might sting a little.
Just a little.
It's supposed to. The questions that matter usually do. Okay, final thoughts. Is grammar overrated for speaking English?
My answer, it is not overrated, it is overfeared.
That's a perfect way to say it. Grammar is a real and valuable tool. It makes you clearer, more precise, more professional. Nobody's telling you to forget it.
But the way many people experience grammar, especially in language learning, is as a source of shame, as the reason they stay silent, as proof that they are not ready yet.
And that word, ready, that's the dangerous one, because people wait to be ready. They wait until their grammar is perfect, and that moment never comes.
Because perfection in language does not exist. Even native speakers make mistakes every day.
Every single day. The most fluent non-native speakers in the world, the ones you hear and think, wow, their English is amazing. They make mistakes. They use the wrong tense sometimes. They say something that sounds a little off.
But they keep going.
They keep going because somewhere along the way, they made a decision. Communication is more important than perfection.
And that's a mindset decision. It has nothing to do with grammar books. It's about what you believe a mistake means.
If a mistake means failure, you'll always be afraid to speak. But if a mistake means progress, then every imperfect sentence is actually a small victory.
So here's the one thing to carry with you from today. Grammar is your friend. Fear is your enemy. And for a very long time, many people have been confusing the two.
We blame the grammar, but it was the fear all along doing the real damage.
Exactly that. Speak, make mistakes, adjust, speak again.
That's how every good English speaker got good. Every single one of them.
Without exception. If this conversation helped you,
keep listening, keep growing,
and keep speaking, even when it feels imperfect.
Especially when it feels imperfect. That's where the real progress lives. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.